Welcome back to the arcade. Yes, we're visiting Gorf again. Let's see if we can tear into that Wells-Gardner K-4600, and I want to try to put these caps in without taking the monitor out of the game. Let's see if that's possible. Okay, first thing I want to do is try to document what the monitor is doing. It has what I call a nervous tick, which Gorf is the monitor is mounted vertically, and normally a television is horizontally mounted. In other words, the picture will be wider than it is taller. But because this is a vertical game, it's rotated 90 degrees so that what would normally be the horizontal is now the vertical, and what is normally the vertical is horizontal, if that makes sense. So if you're looking at the monitor from a television perspective, let's see. It's given us a vertical glitch because it's from on the narrow part of the screen. I think that's the way it is, or have I got that backwards? I don't know, all that confuses me. Well, it doesn't really matter. As you could just see, and I'll document a few more of them, the monitor jumps, the picture jumps, and it's actually jumping in the vertical. Yeah, the vertical is doing the jumping. Anyway, I know from experience that is a capacitor on the main board that's going bad. So we need to change that capacitor, and while I'm at it, I'm going to change the filter capacitor, because the filter capacitor hasn't been changed on this monitor either. The rest of the monitor has already had a cap kit. Therefore, I don't want to pull the monitor out if I don't have to. But 4600 is one of those monitors where it's not hard to work on, but it's kind of a pain in the rear, if you catch my drift. So I'll try to point out some of those endearing features of the 4600, and let's see if we can get started pulling this thing apart. There it goes. Let me see if I can get another one. I get at least 3 examples, show you what it's doing, but it's few far in between right now. But as you have the monitor on, it won't be long before it'll gradually increase in frequency, and yeah, it can't be good for the monitor. So we're going to go ahead and take care of it while we can. There you go. Okay, well, that should be sufficient. Let's go ahead and see if we can't pull this monitor board out without taking the monitor out of the game, because in order to take the monitor out of this game, you have to lay this game down on its right side. I believe it's the right side because of the way it's bolted in. Unless you got another person to help you, and that person can grab onto that monitor and hold it while you take the bolts out of it. And then if they make a wrong move, that neck of the tube is so close to I think the cross member of in the back of the cabinet there, that you run the risk of breaking it. So, and we all know how rare these tubes are starting to get, especially for these older monitors like the 4600. You can still get compatible tubes out of televisions that will drop right into K7000s, even though they're starting to get kind of rare too. So for goodness sakes, anybody, if you buy a video game and you got a monitor that you think's got too much burn in it, and you want to change the tube or whatever, that's fine. But only if it's an excessive amount of burn. A little bit, it's not going to hurt. You know, you can't get these tubes anymore, and once they're gone, they're gone. And if you pull a working tube out just because it's got a little bit of burn and toss it and throw it away, that tube is gone. You're never going to get it back. And there's going to be a time in the future where future collectors, if we can keep these games running, that tube that's got that burn in is as long as that tube is working, it's going to be like gold. So don't throw them away. Hang on to them. Give them to somebody who works on monitors, or somebody who works on games and can actually put them back in a game and use them. Or see if you can find another monitor that has a better tube in it and pass that complete monitor on to somebody else. Somebody else would be glad to get that monitor with a little bit of burn in it, especially if it's got the burn for the particular game that it came out of. So yeah, just don't throw this stuff away. I mean, hang on to it. It's going to be times where you're going to wish you had. So I'm just letting you know. Okay, rant over. Let's fix the monitor. Well, let's get started. All right, we're at the back of the game, and here is the monitor. And as you can see, it's kind of in there, kind of crazy like. This part right here sticks out. That's why they have to have that plastic bubble on the back of the back door, because the monitor sticks out. If they had to put a vertical frame monitor in here rather than a horizontal frame, which this is, since it is a vertical game, I would think they wouldn't even have needed this. But maybe, I don't know, it's just at the time, maybe when they designed this, it wasn't available. They had to go with what they could get. And a lot of times that's the way it was back in the day. Okay, well, the first thing we need to do is, even though I'm not going to take the monitor out, I'm only going to take the main board loose here, and I'm going to make a little shelf right here, and I'm going to try to set it down right here and do all the work right here, because the way this monitor is made, the flyback is not on the board. The flyback is on the chassis frame, and you have wires that run from the flyback over to the main board, and also you got the horizontal coil is mounted to the side of the frame, and two wires run from that over to the chassis. So we're going to have to take those two wires loose, and we're going to have to take these vertical mounted cards out, take the neck board off, and then hopefully we'll be able to just take the screws loose in the chassis and pull the chassis out and lay it down on this. I'm going to make a little shelf out of foam board, and that's my plan anyway. We'll see how it works. First thing I want to do is go ahead and well, first make sure the game is unplugged. It's turned off, but I want to unplug it because we don't need any power going to it. So the game is totally unplugged now. Next, it's probably already discharged because it's been a couple hours since I last had the game on here, but I'm going to go ahead and take this screwdriver with a wire solder to it with a ground clip, and I'm going to clip it right here to the chassis, and I'm going to stick it under the anode cup. And I didn't hear any pop or click, so that means the high voltage was probably already discharged. But better safe than sorry. So now we won't have to worry about getting zapped from that. Okay, well, first thing I need to do is let's unplug the power cord here. That was tight. And we're going to undo the ground here. So let me get a socket for that. That's probably a 1/4 inch. Or it could be a 5/16. Let's try 1/4 inch first. Yeah, 1/4 inch. And this is nothing more but a chassis ground. So I'm going to take this loose and I'm going to put the screw back in here so I won't lose it. A little tip, if you can, always put your screws back in where you take them out. Or you can label them and put them in a little cup or a baggie, just as long as you don't lose them and know where you put them. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take the neck board loose. And the wires go up here. We'll undo this. And it's another ground wire right here. So let's see, that is a Phillips screwdriver. And let me find a Phillips screwdriver here. I thought I had everything I needed, but looks like a rather small one. Maybe this will fit it though. Yeah. And I'm videoing this, so I'll be able to look at the video if I forget where all this stuff goes. But if you're not making a video, then you might want to take some pictures so that you know where everything goes back into place. So we'll just put that screw back in there. So that's the ground wire that goes to the neck board. We can unplug this, but I'm going to leave all these wires plugged in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take these boards and unplug them. And I should be able to squeeze. This is like a channel piece of plastic. I guess I can go either side, squeeze it together, and they come out. Yeah, there we go. And that's what that is. It's got two little holes and two little ears that they fit in right here and over here. And that's what holds the boards in. Now we just unplug these boards. Now, these boards, I've already done this back when I put the cap kit in here, so I don't need to do it. I'll take a look at them, but these connectors, where they plug in right here, you get cold solder joints on these, and you get cold solder joints on these, where these solder into the main boards. You have to solder those from the underside of the board. So whenever you're putting a cap kit in a Wells-Gardner K-4600, you always want to reflow the solder on these pins, or at least check them for cold solder joints, because that's a big problem with with this monitor. All right, I'm just going to let that hang down. Same thing with this board here. I'm going to just unplug that, and that one has no wires hooked to that. I believe this is the vertical horizontal board. We'll just lay that over here. Now, now we got, looks like plenty of length of wire on the yoke wires here, so I don't think I'm going to have to take those loose. And let's see. I mean, if I have to, I can, but no, there's plenty of wire there. And this wire here goes over to the flyback. I think we're good there. Okay. All right. Now I got to remember, the next thing we need to do is to unsolder these two wires right here. Let's see. There's two brown wires. Both of those wires goes to the horizontal width coil, which is mounted on the side of the chassis. It's not mounted on the main board. It's mounted on a metal bracket right beside the main board, and that horizontal output coil is horizontal width coil. I keep getting it mixed up. It's unattainable. They don't make at this time reproductions, so you have to be real careful. Most of them already broke, but they still work. It's just that I guess it's either a plastic or a cardboard tube, I don't remember which, where they hold in the metal bracket. That tube gets hot and deteriorates and breaks. So you might have to rig up some kind of way to make sure the coil is, you know, held in place. But since I had this out before, I had unsoldered the wires right here at these 2 points on the board. So I'm going to fire up my soldering iron here. I should already had it hot. And I'm going to unsolder those wires. Now, both of them are brown, so it's no way to tell which is which. Now, I don't know if reversing these wires will have an adverse effect on that or not. I've always put them back the same way they come off. If the horizontal width coil, if what flows through that is AC, it shouldn't matter. But if it's DC current, then it would matter about the polarity on it. But I don't know enough about it to tell you whether or not that's the case. So when in doubt, you're always best to put it back exactly the way it came off. So what I'm going to do, let's see. I was going to put a little piece of tape on one of them, but I can't find my tape here. Let's see. So instead, I'll just put a little tie wrap on one of them. All right. I'll put a little tie wrap on on the back one, the one that goes closest to the bracket here. So hopefully I can remember that. If not, I'll just look at the video. Okay, that one's loose. That one's loose. Okay, so now we got the horizontal width coil disconnected. And let's see. Got this wire right here. Which I believe may be the DAG wire. Was that over? No, that's over here. That's probably for the degauss coil. That's what that's for. Okay. I could take this power board off too. It plugs in. Let me do that. Got another little pin here. You got to take these little pins and pull them out. They lock it in place. No, I don't believe I can take that off because I think it's got a wire solder to it. Okay, forgot about that. All right, let me see if I can get this degaussing coil loose. There we go. All right, let's put this up here out the way. I think that's everything disconnected. Now, I got to figure out how the board comes loose. We've got two screws here. I think if I take these two screws loose here, I believe it just slides in a slot on the back side. But it's been so long since I've done this, so I'm not 100% sure. Are we having fun yet? Let me take this top one out first. All right, in this case, I'm going to take the screw and I'm going to put it in my socket holder here. And before I take that one out, let me go ahead and cut this piece of board here. Okay. And I'm hoping that it'll set right on that. Okay. All right, I'm holding pressure up on it because I don't want it to fall down and hit the neck of my tube there. And let me see, is there another screw somewhere? No, that's not the screw. The screw is right here. And there's another one back in there. Ah. Okay. All right, well, I can put them screws back in, I guess. See, that's what happens when you forget what's going on here. Alright, I'm going to put these screws back in, and I'm probably going to have to get a long driver, socket driver, or a long extension to get this screw back here. So, be right back. Okay, take two. Got me something I think I'll reach it with here. Get it on it. Okay, got that one out. This one ought to be easy. And I hope this is the only one. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. That's what I was looking for it to do. Alright. Now I can take my board. Alright. I think the only reason I couldn't take this out is because they got a little, like a tie wrap there, holding that little thing on. Let's see, is that one that you can take loose without cutting it? Put my magnifying glasses back on. No. Have to, I'll just put a regular tie wrap back on it. Alright, let's see if this will come off. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to do earlier. I must didn't take that off when I put a cap kit in this thing. But I'm pretty sure I put a cap kit in it. Or did I? Well, should I put a cap kit in it? If I did, it was 15 years ago, but I'm pretty sure I remember taking this monitor out because I had to lay the game on the side. Because the way it's bolted in up here, and it's got these brackets on the side right here. See, the monitor bolts up to the back side of the wood, so if you take the bolts out, it just falls right out. It's not like if it was on the other side of the shelf, you know, it would hold itself in, but it doesn't. It has to come out the back. It don't come out the front. And then you got this board down here that goes across here, and it's very close to the neck, so that's why I'm kind of leery about trying to take it out. At least if you got it sitting on the side here, then it's when you unbolt it, it's still sitting up on these brackets right here, holding it in place. So if the last thing you take loose is this screw in this bracket up here, and the screw in a bracket down there just like it, then you would have no trouble, you know, pulling the monitor, sliding it right on out. So, okay. Anyway, what I was going to change is, this is the filter cap, this big cap right here. And the one that replaces it is not even a quarter the size of that. And the one that's causing the tick or the little glitch in the monitor is this one right here. This black one right here. That's the one that's going bad. So, all right. Well, I need to go ahead and take the board off of this metal frame anyway, no matter what I do. So I think it's got screws on the back side of this. Yeah. I take back what I said. This is a royal pain in the butt. Okay. All right, I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to look this over real good and try to determine whether or not it's ever had a cap kit. That having that factory tie wrap on this voltage regulator, well, the voltage, I think that's the low voltage power supply. No, it's the regulator. That's the power board, which has the regulator on it. Because that thing had that factory tie strap on it, I mean, it's got some capacitors on that too. So I'm just wondering, I do have a cap kit for it, so I could go ahead and just put a cap kit in it. Decisions. Okay, be back. Okay, well, things have changed. I've come to the conclusion that I must never put a cap kit in this monitor. So since I got it tore down and I have a cap kit, I don't have a pot kit for it though, that's the thing. But I think the pots are okay. I don't know. Just let me get this out of here. So let me go ahead and finish taking this out. Alright. First, let me take these yoke wires loose. They look like they just unplug. Hopefully they'll unplug. And they are labeled, so be no problem getting them back. Let's see how easy they come unplugged. Okay, good. I'd hate to mess my yoke up here. And the reason I'm unplugging them from that is because not only are they tie wrapped here, but they're hardwired into the board. There's no plug down here. Now there's a plug here, and that goes over to the high voltage transformer, the flyback. But the flyback is also tied into all this other stuff, so let me go ahead and unplug this other board here. And that's another reason too. I looked at the back of this board, and it looks like this pot has been changed before. That's the black level pot. Or somebody is reflowed the solder because they left a flux on it. But all the capacitors look like they're original. And it doesn't look like any of these pins have ever been reflowed. They look like original solder. So, yeah, I'm going to put a cap kit in it. All right. Let me go ahead and get the anode wire off. We done discharged it, so hopefully I won't get bit. All right, anode wire is loose. There's a tie strap holding that on too. It's got factory tie straps. That's another reason. The anode wire's got a factory tie strap on it. Okay. Okay, the DAG wire. It looks like it's soldered directly to the spring there. So let me see if I can unsolder it there. If not, I'll have to unsolder it from the neck board. Let me just see if it'll come undone from the spring here. No, it's tied around that pretty good. All right. Change of plan. I'll unsolder that from the neck board here. And even the neck board, it's got the factory tie wraps on it here. Yeah, so this is the original monitor. Never been capped. So maybe I was just, I don't know, dreaming, or maybe I read somebody's restoration notes saying that they had to lay the game on the side to take the monitor out. Maybe that's where I got that from. Okay. Right here is where the DAG wire is connected. And you know what would be easiest? If I just cut it and I'll re-strip it, and when I put the caps in, wire's plenty long. There we go. And I'll just solder it back on. I'll go ahead and clean that up when I have it on the workbench. Okay, only thing left is the flyback, and there's 2 screws in the flyback, and they should be 1/4 inch. So let me see if I can get those out. And the flyback is unattainable too. Nobody makes a replacement for that. But they are pretty robust, but they are getting to the age now where they're starting to fail. As a matter of fact, when I got my Pac-Man, I'm going to put these back in after I get this off. When I got my Pac-Man, the monitor was pulled out of the Pac-Man. And when I got into it, it was a 4600, just like this one. And, okay, that one doesn't have to come all the way out. And there we go. The whole thing is out. I'm going to put the screw back in. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably end this video right here. I'll make this part 1, removing the monitor chassis from the 4600 to do a cap kit. So if I tried to do it in one video, it would be so long nobody would want to watch it. So if I do it in sections, then maybe somebody wanted to decide whether they wanted to take the whole monitor out or if they wanted to go this route. So yeah. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you'll know when I upload the next chapter in this saga here. And thanks for watching. And well, we're on our way to another arcade fix.